Good evening. The suspect in the killing of 31-year-old Kamisha White and her 4 children at Cocoa Peace in Chapelton, Clarendon has been identified. He is 23-year-old Roshane Barnett, otherwise called Jet or Nick, who reportedly frequents Cocoa Peace in Clarendon, Wilson Run in Trelawney, and Papine in St. Andrew. Early this morning, the bodies of 31-year-old Kamisha White and her 4 children, Kimana Smith, a 15-year-old girl, Shamari Smith, 10-year-old girl, Kafana Smith, a 5-year-old girl, and a 23-month-old baby boy, Kishan Henry, were discovered. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson detailed what took place.
Well, we know that a mother and 4 children were killed in the house across the road sometime before 7:50 this morning when the police were alerted. The police responded to that call, and the scene behind which is still being processed, that's what was found at the scene. They seem to have been killed with a sharp implement. By all indications, it seems to be a domestic matter.
Education Minister Favour Williams recalled her experience outside the family home and noted that help will be offered to the family.
These brutal acts on our children. The CPFSA, which is the Child Protection and Family Services Agency from the Ministry of Education, is here as well. They are our first responders when we get reports of abuse or situations like this. So they're here to offer support to the family, psychosocial support. They've been at the schools already to talk with and help explain what is happening. And they will continue to provide support to the family, not just today, but going forward in terms of whatever way they can. And help in whatever way they can, psychosocially, other things they can do financially as well. They can help the family. I don't know what to say. I've been here now maybe 2 or 3 hours, and the whole time talking, listening to the mother cry, wail from the bottom of her belly. Her only daughter, she kept saying. Her only grandchildren, all of them wiped out in one go.
The incident sent shockwaves across the parish and the country. Meanwhile, the government of Jamaica has strongly condemned the gruesome and horrific murder of the 31-year-old mother and her 4 children. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, in a statement, said that the horrifying murder of Wright and her 4 children is an act of savagery, barbarity, and brutality of unequal proportions.
I just landed in the United Kingdom, where I was greeted with this terrible news. I'm certain that all Jamaica is grieving. I'm certain that all Jamaica is horrified and upset at this gruesome murder. It is the most gruesome crime that I can recall in recent times. The murder of a young woman and her 4 children. It is heartbreaking, heartrending. This kind of violence cannot be allowed to continue without a response, without action on the part of the government. This kind of murder, this kind of gruesome killing shows the lack of respect and dignity and sanctity of life. It really shows how violence, the ultimate violence that of taking life, has become entrenched in our society.
This is not just a domestic dispute. This murder represents an attack on our civility, an attack on our sensibilities, and it is an attack on our nation.
He urged Jamaicans to reflect on the way our children are raised and how we interact with each other, while adding that we should desist from using violence as a way of resolving disputes. For his part, councillor candidate for the Chapeltown division said several children have been traumatized by the murders this morning.
Well, it is a sad day for all of us, especially in my division, the Chapeltown division, because this is something strange to us. We have never had an experience of this before. And it's a lot of children have been traumatized. And I have known this family as a humble, respectable set of persons. And when I heard, I was brought to tears by the sad thing that is happening in our communities. And these things are contributing because of the lack of father figures in the families. And if you look around, in and around the Chapeltown division or these rural areas, there's a lack of developments. So there's no hope for the youths then. So that is why they turn to certain type of behavior, because without no doubt this is a premeditated thing.
He appealed to all elected representatives to do their best to ensure that incidents of this nature do not reoccur.
And I am appealing to all of the elected representatives. Let us come together and make sure that we don't have a recurrence of this anywhere across the country. Because it is a sad day for Jamaica and it is a sad day for the people of Chapeltown here.
Kamisha's father remembers her as a loving, caring, and good person.
Kim is my first daughter with our mother, Gwendolyn White. And during the process at the time, our mother leave her apartment for she had 3 months. I work, mine her, school her, wash her uniform, press it, clean her shoes. So at the time when I get the call, my bigger sister, when me follow, call me and tell me. From that, I ring in the phone, nothing from the phone. But Kim don't make trouble. She's a nice young girl. As a first child for me. I get 8 of them, and she's the first one. The grandkids now, then we call my grandfather. Remember when I come in, we want pecan flakes and lasco and chocolate. As a father and a grandfather to them, me don't make them short, no time at all. Whether in a season or out of season, I come and look for them, I care what me have can come give them. My little grandson, most of all, I make him work for $100. The little one named Rafiq, we call her Spanish woman, because when me and her attack, nobody else can touch the phone away from she. So me and them have a relationship where very close as a grandfather. And when me here, me tell the boss, before grandchildren and my daughter dead, and me say them kill them. So the work done for you.
Still on crime, gunmen struck in downtown Kingston this afternoon, leaving 2 men dead and a 3rd man admitted in serious condition. The deceased has been identified as 40-year-old Dwayne Hall of a Tower Street address and 38-year-old Kirkland Baker of Bayshore Park in Harborview. The injured victim is a 24-year-old man. According to reports, at approximately 12:30 p.m., persons were gathered along Church Street when a man armed with a gun walked up and opened fire at the group, hitting the victims. He reportedly made good his escape on a waiting motorcycle on Port Royal Street. The injured men were taken to the hospital where Hall and Baker were pronounced dead and the other man was rushed to surgery. No motive has been established for the attack. Several videos of the incident have since gone viral on social media. We will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscasts. Continuing with the news tonight, the Lucy police in Hanover are investigating the circumstances surrounding the fatal shooting of an unidentified male by a licensed firearm holder at his home along North Avenue in Lucy, Hanover last night. Investigators say the deceased is of dark complexion, slim build, approximately 5 feet 8 inches tall, and was clad only in black shorts and a pair of slippers. Reports from the Lucy police coming into our news center are that shortly after 10 p.m., the licensed firearm holder was at home with his wife when they heard strange sounds coming from the outside of his house, and he went to investigate. It is further reported that he was attacked by the unidentified male who was armed with a knife, and he opened fire, killing the attacker on the scene. The Lucy police were summoned, and upon their arrival, the scene was processed and the body of the now deceased removed to the morgue for a post-mortem examination. Still making Mello TV news tonight, a team of officers assigned to the Area 1 Narcotics Police Division arrested and charged 36-year-old Sheena Headley, a banker of Goodwill St. James, with breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act yesterday. Reports are that at approximately 6 p.m. on Wednesday, June 15, law enforcement officers were in the area, and the premises that was occupied by Headley was searched. During the operation, a Toyota Prado motor vehicle owned by her was also searched, and cocaine weighing approximately 25 pounds was found inside the vehicle. She was charged following an interview session in the presence of her attorney. Headley was charged with possession of, dealing in, taking steps to export, trafficking, and conspiracy to export cocaine. The illicit drug has an estimated street value of $550,000. Headley is scheduled to appear before the St. James Parish Court on Wednesday, June 29. Continuing with the news, workers at the Transport Authority's Western Regional Office in Montego Bay, St. James, today staged a peaceful protest over what they believe is the forced removal of their managing director, Willard Hilton. The allegations left several workers at the organization upset, as they believe Hilton cemented himself as the best managing director of the Transport Authority. Administrative manager at the entity, Raquel Wood, bemoaned the nature of the events and noted it was uncharacteristic of Mr. Hilton.
Is a person who recognizes everyone from the ground to the tallest. And so we are hurt and we're saddened at this decision. And as I said, our manager is a leader, and that is not the way he leads. He puts his staff first. And if this is a bitter pill for us to swallow, that is not the way in which he would have given it to us. Right. And so we refuse to accept this.
We want
Hilton!
We want
Hilton!
We want
Hilton!
No Hilton!
No work!
No Hilton!
No work!
No Hilton!
No work!
We want
Hilton!
We want
Hilton!
We want
Hilton!
No Hilton!
She added that because of Mr. Hilton's stellar performance in the position, coupled with his respect for the workers, they will not accept the claim about his imminent resignation.
In summary, we were advised that our managing director will be resigning. John, is it at the end of this month? Yes. That's not the style of our managing director. Our managing director is a people person, and he values his staff too much to just thrust something on us like that so suddenly. And so we do not believe that this decision is wholeheartedly that of Mr. Hilton. And so the staff stands in solidarity to protest his removal, because Mr. Hilton is not one of, he is the best managing director we have ever had. He puts the number one resource, which is the people, the staff, first. Mr. Hilton will allow the staff to climb on a limb if it is broken, if it is in the best interest of the organization, because that is how motivated we are. He makes us feel inclusive. It's not a lion and most situations we're all on the same level. He knows every employee by name. He allows us to feel valued. The organization has performed the best in the past 2 to 3 years under his leadership.
Yes,
you understand?
It be about
And
robbers
so,
and a Judas among us.
and so, hold on, Robbie. And so, it is incumbent on us, the staff, to stand up, to support, to defend Mr. Hilton.
In the meantime, motor vehicle examiner at the Western Regional Office, Neville Robinson, spoke out against the news that caused the mayhem at the facility.
I have never felt the sense of unity and harmony that we're experiencing now. And all because Mr. Willard Hilton does not look at the job, he looks at the person doing the job. Energize the person, reassure the person, and get us to get the job done right through the pandemic. He came in just around the corner to the pandemic and guide us through the pandemic in such a way that as employees here, you would say that, boy, it seems as if there was no pandemic. I've seen people who were told that they can go home and work from home. Mr. Hilton came and he addressed us himself and said, boy, those of you with underlying illnesses, we don't want to expose you. People, just because of the love for the leader, came to work still, and through him and the love of God, there has been no fatality nor casualty as associated with the pandemic. The organization through him has grown, is growing. The infightings and all those things gone. But you know, there are some people, wherever you go, there are people who just don't like to see when things are running properly and effectively. There are these people.
He added that it has also caused emotional turmoil for many of the workers.
He's not just our boss, he's our friend, he's our brother. Many here look at him as a father. Good man. He knows he works in Kingston predominantly. And the man come here a few times, he know every employee name. He know from the office attendant to the manager here. He can call everybody by their name. Every single staff from the operation to the admin department. He not just pass you and gone like at the big shop. He going to stop and reason with you. How you do? You alright? Long time I don't see you. That means so much to people, you know, in this time, in this day and age, when you have managers like this who can resonate with the staff. Why would you want to change that? Why would you want to disturb that? So it's heart-rending for us here, for many of us. People are inside here crying. This news is very sad. You're not going to come out and cry in front of your TV or in front of your camera and an interview. But people are weeping over this. Because this has touched the bone of every staff of the Western Regional Office. The Transport Authority cannot and will not be the same after 35 years. We're on the 7th of July, we'll be looking at 35 years as an organization. And in 3 years, this man have reshape, recreate, and remake the organization into what I would want to think now is banging at the shoulders of world class. We don't need this kind of change at this time.
In tonight's COVID-19 update, Jamaica reported 61 new cases of COVID-19 and no fatalities yesterday, according to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This increases the total of cases of the virus since the start of the pandemic to 141,781, and the death toll now to 3,098. Of the newly reported cases, there were 31 females and 30 males, ranging in age from 29 days to 88 years. In tonight's COVID-19 parish breakdown, Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 23 cases, St. James recorded 12 cases, Portland 7 cases, Clarendon and St. Catherine recorded 6 cases each, Trelawney recorded 3 cases, Manchester recorded 2 cases, while Hanover and St. Thomas recorded 1 case each. The country also recorded 129 new recoveries, increasing the total of recovered persons now to 90,045. And those are the stories making news. I am Shelley Hill. Stay safe, pleasant viewing, and thanks for watching.